Alright, Dokovan's stream, and we got a surprise reveal today, that being a new form of Drajeweled that is also grade 4. Finally, we brought back a grade 4, at least one evolution that I was not expecting considering the condition of the character, at least not in this set, but I am so happy to see it, so let's begin, because I'm excited. So we start out with the generic card, Soul Burial Dragon, Noctalgil, which, of course, just like all of them, reveal the grade 4, if your Vanguard is grade 4, the reveal card is grade 4, perform the following depending on what circle it's on. If it's on the rear guard, which is the unique part, you can counterblast one, draw a card, choose 2 cards from your drop zone, and put it to Soul. On Guardian, 15k shield, and of course also has the ability where when discarded from your hand for a ride deck for grade 3 or stride, you draw a card. Once again, it's another one of those running your own leisure, but since you just got a new Drajeweled that is grade 4, and you get to choose what cards to put from Soul from the drop zone, this might actually be useful for the deck. Just a thought here. And now to the actual Drajeweled stuff, we started with Hunt Slush Drajeweled, which is a grade 1 with K power, and the skill is auto. When placed on rear guard, cost counterblast 1, look at top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 4 Drajeweled from among them and add it to your hand. If you did not reveal a card, choose a grade 4 from your hand, reveal it, and if that card is a grade 4 or your Vanguard that is Drajeweled, you draw a card. So basically you counterblast 1 to get a +1. You can either search for Drajeweled, but if you miss and you still happen to have a grade 4 Drajeweled somewhere in your hand or your Vanguard, you still draw a card. Not too bad to add some consistency. Next, Soul Rending Demonic Lancer Zygon, which is a grade 2 with taking power, and the skill is auto. When placed on rear guard during the main phase, you may soul charge 1, and then you choose 1 grade 4 Drajeweled from your hand, reveal it. If the revealed card is either the grade 4 Drajeweled or your Vanguard is Drajeweled, that is also grade 4, choose up to 1 card with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard with different name from this unit from Soul, and call it to rear guard. At the end of the turn, put that called card to the Soul. And second skill, count rear guard if your Vanguard is Drajeweled, it also gets the boost ability. The extra 10k boost is the nice part, but what's really nice about this card is that it's a free soul charge. But not only that, because we're playing a new grade 4 deck that can also make you lack some space for other stuff, it's nice that this card can let you call stuff from your soul, especially when you got choice soul charging in the deck. Because yes, I have experienced some lack of rear guards with Drajeweled before, and it's just pretty nice that this lets you get a plus out of it, even though it's a temporary plus, but still pretty good. And like I said, choice soul charging is in this deck as well. And tacking on that extra boost ability is pretty nice, because sometimes I noticed that there's a lot of good grade 2s in Drajeweled like this one, so there can be a lack of grade 1s in the deck, and just by having the extra 10k boost is actually pretty nice, especially, spoiler alert, the new Drajeweled does not change the power to 1, which will actually make this card make a difference. So yes, pretty good. And then we got Enlightenment Demonic Landlord Varpra, which is a grade 1 with K power, and the skill is auto rear guard. When you soul blast 4 or more cards at the same time through your Vanguard's ability, put this card to soul, then draw a card, then choose a grade 4 from your hand, reveal it. If the revealed card once again is a grade 4, or your Vanguard is Drajeweled that is also grade 4, choose one of your rear guards. If you did not stand a rear guard by card ability this turn, stand that unit. This is basically grade 1 Imbusa in a way, except Imbusa lets you recycle a grade 2 or greater from Soul, while this one lets you draw a card. Unfortunately, this does not combo with Imbusa because both of them have the restriction where if you have another rear guard did not stand by card ability this turn, aka rock a door. So you can only pick one or the other. Although this one is a little more conditional, requiring the grade 4 somewhere in your hand or your Vanguard, but the put this soul to draw a card can also be pretty nice. Also, if you don't have Imbusa, you can actually use this as another option. And in fact, you might actually end up using this over Imbusa in the new grade 4 Drajeweled, because grade 4s, they're not really going to have Persona Ride, are they? And despite all the good grade 2s, you're not going to be constantly recycling all the grade 2s all the time. For now, only play testing will tell. And finally, to the evolved Drajeweled, True Demonic Jewel Dragon Drajeweled Ignis. Man, look at the art, it just looks awesome. Anyway, it's a grade 4 with 13k power, and the skill is, you can only ride this on top of Drajeweled. Remember, there is no Persona Ride, and grade 4s have triple drive in D series, so keep that one in mind. But anyway, the first skill is Auto Vanguard. At the start of your battle phase, choose 2 cards from your drop zone and put them to Soul. Then you have 4 more cards with different grades. All your front row units was 15k power in the end turn. Choice soul charging for free and potential free power. Yes, sure, it's not soul charge in the main phase, which would be better because you have a lot of main phase abilities, but the fact that you can choice soul charge is quite powerful, and plus a 15k power buff on your front row on top of it is also very powerful on top of that. Sure, you might not always get the 15k power buff all the time, because the soul condition right there, especially when you're going to be using your grade 3 Drajeweled to basically soul blast the 4 cards of different grades, can sometimes make you lack the grade count in your soul, but usually you should get this off by the time you ride this anyway. Later game is a different story. But anyway, the second skill, Auto Vanguard. When this card attacks, you can soul blast 5 cards with different grades, retire all your opponent's back or rear guards until the end turn it gets crit +1, and change your opponent's power to 0. Not 1, 0, which actually makes a difference in guarding value. But you can also pay the cost of this card by soul blasting a Drajeweled along with 4 cards with different grades. So basically like original Drajeweled, but it's a soul blast 5 but to shrink their power to 0. Like I said, the 0 power does make a difference in guarding value, the crit pressure is there, but what makes this card a huge improvement is the fact that you can choice soul charge and plus the 15k power buff, which also makes things really nasty. The retire all your opponent's back or rear guard just depends on the deck. Because you're playing against something like Brandgate, for example, they're probably not going to have back row, but against like other certain decks that revolve around rear guards, back row is very likely. And if you're going to try to compare this with Mask, well, the Mask Drajeweled lets you choice retire in comparison to this. And the soul charges in the main phase, which can also be more helpful than during battle. But I will have to say this is way better, even if you do lose Persona, but you trade it off with the triple drive. And if you're wondering where the 5th gem is at, he doesn't have a 5th gem. I have to assume the Ignis part, which is his whole body, is actually considered the 5th gem, hence the red. But overall, it's really cool, and I am excited for this because it's Drajeweled, and I am definitely going to play this. But bye-bye to Drajeweled Mask, I guess. So that's it for the new Drajeweled. What do you guys think of it? Like I said in the review, it's just awesome, and I am glad to see a new form of Drajeweled, and it was just a surprise to me because the character's condition makes him not be able to play. So I'm just wondering, will we even see this card in the anime? But it is just so cool to see a new form of Drajeweled, and Evolve form at that also being a grade 4, it's just nice to see a new grade 4. Finally, the generics actually make more sense. And overall, it's just a much stronger version of the original Drajeweled, but a little more conditional, aka the extra soul. Also not the potential +1 of the draw, but still good regardless. And considering that this is a big finale set and Darkseid was the only one who technically did not have a proper evolution ever since they showed Vanguard, I was curious how would they handle Darkseid, and this is a good little surprise. I was glad they actually did this. So now every nation of that set has a new evolution. And on top of that, every nation has quite a unique evolution. Vanguard basically switches forms in mid-battle. Leonord has a new dress mechanic that stays permanent, and it's a grade 3. Drajeweled is a grade 4, and Yourthberk is a rebel form that can actually be permanent as well because the mask is off. And we don't know about Dragon Empire despite the new Vairina. Will we get a new Nirvana there as well? That can possibly be grade 3 because the new Vairina is confirmed to be grade 3, or the new Vairina is potentially going to be what the anime name is stating. Will dress. Cross overdressing basically on the Vanguard with Nirvana and the Trickstar, and potentially along with your original overdressed Vairinas, and I want to make Cladden Prayer a thing for basically past, present, and future reasons. I am just curious how they will handle Dragon Empire here, especially on how they're going to handle Yourthberk. Especially when Yourthberk is shown to be the combined form of all the other rebel forms combined with the mask off, so I'm just wondering will that be a permanent rebel form. But it's a little nice twist of the evolutions and I like it. And also the big 4 all have evolutions of their own. Unique on top of that. But on that, that's it for this, and waiting for Tuesday because that stuff I'm gonna really care about.